Hello, my name is Samuel Clark, and today we're going to be showing you how to remove the fuel screw and change it with an extended fuel screw on a Honda CRF 230F. Now previously I've shown you how to remove the shrouds and the gas tank in order to remove the carburetor. I'm going to start with the carburetor already removed, and we're going to give you some tips on exactly how to remove that fuel screw, especially when that brass tampering cap is on it. So I'm going to get that carburetor off and we'll get to it. I already have the shroud and the gas tank removed, and now I'm removing the throttle cables. The top one is coming free just now, and I'm going to step around behind the motorcycle once I've unlocked these nuts here on the bottom throttle cable and go ahead and remove it loose too. I sped the video up for your viewing pleasure. Once I get the bottom throttle cable removed, I'm going to move back to the front of the motorcycle and start removing the hose clamps. I got the left side done and now the right side done. One thing left, remove the carburetor and you're ready to the next step. As you can see here, I have the carburetor freed from the bike. What I want to point out now is the fuel screw, or what Honda calls the pilot screw. It's on the bottom of the carburetor right here. Now, I have a 2016, so it has this brass cap right there. They call that a tamper-proof cap, which I have to be honest, seems odd to me, seeing as how you can basically take apart every aspect of the bike, but you do have to remove that. So I've got my drill fitted with a 3/32, and I'm going to slowly and gingerly drill a hole, and then we're going to thread it with a screw, and we're going to try to pull straight out. There are reports that there's an adhesive keeping the cap in, and it's actually what it says in the shop manual too, so it might take a fair bit of effort. And we're through. I'm going to blow out the cap and then thread a little screw, and let's hope that I can pull this out without much trouble. Okay, I think I found just the right screw. We're going to give it a shot. I've applied a fair amount of force, enough that pressing the carburetor into the top of the tool table is causing me some concern. Another option that I've heard is to continue to screw the screw in, let it hit the top of the fuel screw that's underneath the tamper-proof cap, and let that drive it out. So that's what we're going to try next. As you can see, that seemed to have worked fairly well. Actually, without much trouble at all. But you can see that there does appear to be a little bit of resin around the edge of that. So I think that there is some truth to the fact that there is some glue that kind of holds that in. Regardless, and despite Honda's best efforts, we are now able to tamper with this fuel screw as much as we want. If you'll notice, that is a D-shaped head, and I actually have a special D-shaped bit that I will probably use right now and likely never again. Here is the D-shaped bit that I got from CRFs only. You can see, perhaps, that there is a flat side to the rounded edge. Now it's important to note how far that is screwed in, and you can refer to your owner's manual or your shop manual for specifics. Looks like we've got just a little further to go. Now it's important to retain the spring in there, and there's a washer underneath that, and I'll show you now. It appears that my washer and O-ring are still in the seat of where the fuel screw goes, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead, put the spring over the new extended fuel screw, and install it. Okay, I've noticed that right here, my T-screw is actually hitting the side of the carburetor. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use my Dremel tool and slightly modify the T on the end so that it's able to rotate without hitting the carburetor body. Perhaps you can see that I have slightly modified the ends. You can see they're not exactly 100% perfect, but they are smooth and round because I rounded them with my Dremel. At any rate, I'm going to try to reseat the needle. It's important that the needle seats easily so that you can tell at the end. You don't want to tighten the fuel screw down on the end of the needle or you'll damage it. Okay, so there we go. I've hit my first area of seating the needle, and I'm stopping. I'm not going to put any more pressure on that. Now, a good rule of thumb, if you're going to kind of adjust it yourself, is to go ahead and turn it out between 1/2 and 2.5 turns. I'm going to go ahead and turn it out 1.5 turns and start from there. At any rate, that's the way that you install an extended T-handle fuel screw on a Honda CRF 2016. And here's that tamper-proof cap. I guess the only way to remove it is to screw it. At any rate, y'all be safe out there. Thanks for watching. See you on the trails.